Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we take a stack of sources, articles, and research and give you the essential nuggets of knowledge. Today, we're diving into the largest factor affecting how we look and really how our skin ages: photoaging.
And we should probably clarify that right away. Photoaging is a huge topic because, well, sources are pretty clear on this. Continuous sun exposure accounts for up to 90% of the visible aging changes we see on our skin.
90%.
It's the single biggest cosmetic issue we face.
That statistic is just staggering. It really sets the stakes for this conversation. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
We have material here that promises a clear, scientific look at exactly how sun exposure kicks off that structural damage, what the signs are, and what treatments actually move the needle on repair.
And that's our mission today. Because photoaging is the premature aging caused solely by UV rays. It's totally distinct from what we call intrinsic aging.
The natural, slow process.
Exactly, the one that happens over time no matter what. UV exposure causes these really unique, destructive structural changes that, intrinsic aging just doesn't replicate.
So for you listening, our goal is to quickly arm you with the specifics, the knowledge you need to identify sun damage and understand the science behind preventing it and, hopefully, correcting it. So let's start at the very beginning. The sun is the culprit, we know that. But what is it actually doing on, a molecular level?
The evidence is just overwhelming. UV radiation is structurally breaking down two absolutely essential skin components: collagen and elastin.
Right, the scaffolding.
Think of them as the scaffolding and the springs of your skin. That's a perfect way to put it. Collagen provides the structure, the strength. Elastin gives it that snap back.
So the UV gets in there?
It just degrades these proteins. And when that happens, you lose elasticity, you get wrinkles, and you start to see all this sagging and discoloration.
Okay, and we always hear about UVA and UVB rays. The sources really stress that understanding this difference isn't just, academic. It actually dictates how we protect ourselves.
It absolutely does. What's fascinating here is the two rays damage the skin in completely different ways, even though they're coming from the same source.
Give us the breakdown.
Okay, so UVA rays, these are the long-wave rays. They penetrate deeply into the dermis. They actually bypass the surface layer almost entirely.
Well, they go way down.
Way down. And because they go so deep, they are the ones responsible for that structural breakdown. They're the ones just chewing up the collagen and elastin, which, significantly accelerates aging, loss of firmness, and wrinkles.
So UVA equals deep structural aging.
Exactly. Now, UVB rays are the shortwave ones. They affect the outermost layer of the skin.
The surface.
The surface. They are what's responsible for the immediate burn, that redness we see and feel. But more dangerously, UVB radiation causes rapid DNA damage and cellular mutation within skin cells. This directly increases the risk of skin malignancies, like melanoma.
This helps clarify so much of the advice we get. When the sources demand broad-spectrum SPF 30 or higher, they're basically saying you need protection against both.
Both. The UVA, which are those sneaky, deep aging rays, and the UVB, the burning and cancer-causing rays.
Right.
And this is so vital when we talk about artificial sources. Tanning beds, they're notorious because they often release these super concentrated UVA rays.
So you might not feel like you're burning badly.
Right. There's less UVB. But you're subjecting your deep dermal layer to just massive accelerated destruction. Avoiding them is, it's truly non-negotiable.
So that's the invisible damage happening under the surface. Now let's talk about how this all actually shows up. If someone's looking at their skin, their face, neck, hands, what are the specific observable changes that scream photoaging?
Photoaging produces these really specific cumulative markers that are just so much more pronounced than normal aging. The first thing people tend to notice are the fine lines and deep wrinkles.
Especially around the eyes and mouth.
Exactly, concentrated around the eyes and lips. And that's a direct result of that collagen degradation we were just talking about.
And what about the texture of the skin itself?
The texture is a huge giveaway. The skin gets this rough. Sometimes it's described as leathery or even gritty.
Wow.
And this isn't just on the surface. It's caused by a disturbed process of skin cell renewal. The cells just aren't sloughing off correctly, and you end up with this thickened, non-uniform, damaged layer.
And then there's hyperpigmentation, the classic sunspots.
Uneven pigmentation. Those dark, distinct patches they call lentigines or sunspots appear where the sun hits most directly. Yeah. Then you have the more insidious signs like reduced elasticity. That leads to noticeable sagging and drooping.
Jawline, under the arms.
Commonly around the jawline, yeah. And another thing I found interesting in the source material was the connection to spider veins.
I hadn't connected that directly to sun damage before either. That's a profound detail.
They're called telangiectasias. They're these small, visible, red or purple blood vessels that show up just beneath the skin's surface.
Why do they become visible?
Because chronic sun exposure and the heat that comes with it actually weakens the blood vessel walls. They dilate and then just stay permanently visible, especially on the nose and cheeks.
And this brings us to the highest stake in all this, the precancerous lesions.
Yes, actinic keratoses. These are rough, scaly, often pink or flesh-colored patches that form on severely sun-exposed skin. They are a physical manifestation of deeply damaged cell DNA.
So they're not just a cosmetic issue?
No, not at all. They are clinically classified as precancerous lesions. This means they have a significant potential to progress into squamous cell carcinoma, which is a dangerous form of skin cancer if they're left untreated.
They're the alarm bells.
They are the alarm bells of chronic, serious damage.
That definitely drives home the need for early detection. Now, let's look at risk. We know that fair-skinned people have less protective melanin, their natural defense. Who else is surprisingly vulnerable to this?
Well, besides fair-skinned individuals and people with long-term outdoor careers like construction workers, farmers, even avid golfers, we have specific groups with compromised defenses.
Like what?
For instance, people dealing with certain autoimmune conditions, like lupus or vitiligo. These conditions can weaken the skin's natural ability to defend and repair itself against UV stress, making them highly susceptible.
Okay, but I'm curious about the role of medicine. Are there common drugs that can suddenly make a person a high sun risk?
Absolutely. This is a critical point. Individuals on what are called photosensitizing medications need to be extremely careful.
What kinds of medications are we talking about?
We're talking about drugs like certain antibiotics, diuretics used for blood pressure, even some chemotherapy agents. These medications dramatically increase the skin's reactivity and sensitivity to UV radiation.
So wait, someone could be taking a medication for something completely unrelated, an internal issue, but a side effect is that sunlight suddenly causes rapid photoaging or even severe burns.
Lastly, the drug compounds absorb the UV energy and then they release that energy into the surrounding skin cells. This causes inflammation and damage that is often much, much worse than a typical sunburn.
That's a fantastic takeaway.
It means if you are taking any long-term medication, you really need to have a conversation with your doctor about its photosensitizing potential. It should be non-negotiable.
Okay, that's incredibly useful. Let's pivot from identifying the damage to actively preventing and treating it. If prevention is, like you said, 90% of the solution, what are the daily non-negotiables?
Prevention is paramount, and the sources are all on the same page here.
Lay out the essentials for us.
Sunscreen, hands down. Broad spectrum, SPF 30 or higher.
And applied liberally.
Applied liberally. They say a shot glass amount for the body, about a nickel-sized amount for the face, and you have to reapply it every 2 hours when you're outdoors.
And the broad spectrum part is key.
It's key. That ensures protection against both the deep UVA rays and the surface UVB rays.
Okay, what else can we do? What's another layer of defense?
Physical protective gear. And this means more than just a baseball cap. We're talking wide-brimmed hats, long sleeves made from UV protective fabric, and high-quality UV-blocking sunglasses to protect that delicate skin around the eyes.
And seeking shade.
And strategic shade seeking, especially during peak sun hours, which is typically between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.
So that all addresses future damage. But for the signs we already have, the lines, the spots, the texture, what are the heavy hitters when it comes to actively treating sun-damaged skin?
For that, we turn to the gold standards in repair. Topicals are the first line, and specifically topical retinoids.
Like tretinoins.
Tretinoin is the most famous one. Their mechanism is fascinating. They are cell-communicating ingredients that literally tell your damaged skin cells to behave like younger, healthier cells. They increase cell turnover, reduce wrinkles, and they encourage the production of new, firm collagen.
So they're not just smoothing the surface, they're actually changing the code.
They are. And to support the skin while it's undergoing that intense repair, you need antioxidant creams.
Vitamin C and E.
Particularly those. UV radiation generates free radicals, these unstable molecules that just cause a chain reaction of destruction. Antioxidants neutralize them. They scavenge them before they can do more damage, which really enhances the overall texture and brightness of the skin.
And If the damage is deeper or if the pigmentation is really severe, that's when you move toward clinical options.
Yes, for surface issues like sunspots, chemical peels are great. They exfoliate the outer damaged layers, allowing fresh, undamaged cells to come to the surface.
And for deeper problems.
For deeper structural issues, you look at laser therapies. Things like fractional lasers or intense pulsed light or IPL. These treatments go deeper to stimulate collagen creation below the surface, breaking up pigment and enhancing suppleness.
And finally, a step that's so necessary but often overlooked, hydration.
Absolutely crucial. UV exposure compromises the skin barrier, so proper hydrating moisturizers with ingredients like hyaluronic acid, glycerin, and ceramides are essential.
What do?
They replenish moisture, they reduce that rough texture we talked about, and they help strengthen the skin barrier, making it more resilient.
So here's the big question. If someone has years, even decades, of sun damage, is it truly reversible? Or are we just slowing things down?
Reversibility is partial, but significant improvement is absolutely possible.
Oh.
Yes. We can't completely rewind the clock on decades of deep wrinkles, but the sources confirm that consistent use of retinoids, antioxidants, and professional treatments can remodel the skin matrix.
Yeah.
You're giving the skin the tools to heal itself.
So you can see real results.
You can see tighter skin, minimized spots, and a restored texture. The skin has a remarkable capacity for repair when it's supported.
Well, let's focus on that support system then. Specifically, the ingredients that you can integrate into a daily routine, linking the function back to the photoaging mechanism.
Right. This is where strategy really comes into play. You're building a routine around those three key mechanisms: cell turnover, antioxidant defense, and barrier restoration.
So what's the heavy hitter for the morning routine?
Vitamin C. It's a powerful daytime asset. As an antioxidant, it gives you a crucial layer of protection against the environment and any UV that gets through your sunscreen.
It is more than just protect, right?
It does. It also actively lightens hyperpigmentation and stimulates collagen synthesis during the day. It's best used right after cleansing, and then you follow it with that broad spectrum SPF.
Okay, so then what's the essential nighttime repair component?
Retinoids. These should always be reserved for nighttime use because they can increase sun sensitivity. At night, while your skin is in repair mode, the retinoids are boosting cell turnover and going to work on wrinkles and dark spots while you sleep.
You know, if we connect this to the bigger picture, all these high-tech treatments, all these powerful ingredients, they all still depend on repairing that moisture barrier that UV radiation just destroys.
It's vital. The best defense is a resilient barrier. So you need hydrating elements both internally, drinking lots of water, and topically. Look for products rich in hyaluronic acid, which pulls moisture into the skin.
And ceramides.
And ceramides. They're the natural fatty acids that act like the glue holding your skin cells together. They rebuild that compromised barrier and seal in moisture, restoring suppleness.
The material also highlighted some natural remedies that can complement these ingredients. Which ones actually stand out?
Well, aloe vera gel is famous for after-sun care, but it's more than just soothing. It provides deep hydration and contains natural antioxidants, vitamins A, C, and E, that promote cell regeneration and calm inflammation.
Interesting. Anything else?
Green tea extract is another good one. It's high in polyphenols, which actively protect against residual UV damage and reduce inflammation within the skin cells.
And for gentle smoothing, if you have that rough texture.
Instead of harsh physical scrubs, which can make things worse on damaged skin, look for enzymatic exfoliation. Gentle options like papaya or pineapple enzymes dissolve the dead cells and smooth texture without causing those micro tears.
Okay, that's perfect for compromised skin.
It is.
This has been an incredibly thorough deep dive. We covered the specific dual threats of UVA for deep aging and UVB for surface burning and cancer risk. We covered the signs, including those dangerous actinic keratosis and telangiectasias. And we covered the necessary combo of daily broad-spectrum SPF 30+ protection and active repair ingredients like retinoids and vitamin C.
And we just have to reiterate that up to 90% statistic, sun exposure accounts for up to 90% of visible skin aging. That really puts the power of prevention and continuous protective practices squarely in your hands to mitigate photoaging and ensure healthier skin.
So we established that sun-damaged skin is only partially reversible through consistent effort. But let's consider the extreme end of the spectrum for a second. The source material mentioned this incredibly rare genetic condition called xeroderma pigmentosum, or XP.
Yes.
This condition makes the skin virtually incapable of repairing UV damage at the cellular level. Now, if a common lack of diligent sunscreen use causes 90% of visible aging in most of us, imagine the level of constant invisible cellular defense our body needs every single second just to maintain basic health against the sun.
Hmm.
That silent repair machinery is working nonstop in all of us, whether we see the burn or not. So the question is, what steps can you take today to better support that constant repair process?
That's a powerful frame of reference.
Absolutely. That's all the time we have for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.